Let us all unite and celebrate together. The victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend.
The rate at which the human internal organs are getting damaged, thereby leading to several killer diseases, is getting higher. Hi everyone, welcome to Africa and Diaspora News. I'm Abomo Rita. In one of our previous videos, we talked about sickle cell and its effect to humanity. If you have not seen it, please rush to our channel, Africa and Diaspora News. Today we will be discussing about diabetes and liver disease. What then is liver? Liver is the largest internal organ in the body. Therefore, liver disease is anything that damages the liver and prevents it from functioning. The liver is like a cleanser. It cleans harmful substances from the body. It also regulates the amount of blood in the body. Aproko doctor has a lot to tell us about liver disease.
So basically, there's an organ in your body that is a miracle. Yes, I know some of you like miracles. And this particular organ is called the liver. And why is it a miracle? Simply because the liver is the only solid organ in your body that if it loses 50% of its, mass. Okay, so wait. Yes. So if it loses 50%, like farm, that remaining 50% can actually still grow back to its actual size. Your heart cannot do it, your lung cannot do it, your brain cannot do it. You can see all these organs that I'm calling that like to form alagbara, they still cannot do it. So, my dear, respect the liver. But that does not mean that the liver, you should not be abusing the liver up and down, because some things can actually happen to the liver that can make it not function properly. And if you keep watching, or don't skip at this point, you'll find out exactly those things that can make your liver, and not just that, the signs that your liver is actually failing. Let's now start. What are the functions of the liver? It's simple. First of all, you need to see the liver as, number one, is the detoxifier of your body. So if you eat something, it does not just enter your bloodstream directly just like that. In many cases, it has to go first to the liver, and your liver can make it either less harmful or more harmful depending on what it is. So all the medicine that you're drinking goes into your liver first. Your liver will now metabolize it. After metabolizing it, bam. Sometimes if you take some things that are poisonous, it will go to your liver. Your liver would make it a less harmful or more harmful sometimes, and then release it into your bloodstream. So all of you that are drinking detoxifying tea, you need to please explain what exactly you need to explain, not to me. You explain to your liver what exactly is functioning in your body. Are you trying to help it? No, your liver is already there. Leave it alone. Some functions, major functions of the liver is, number one, your liver can help digest food. It makes a substance called bile. And what exactly does this bile do? It breaks down the fats in your food, or people used to call it emulsification. So basically, just imagine you have oil. Well, you just add soap inside the oil. You break it down into smaller pieces so that it can easily digest. That's basically what bile does to fat. Number two is that it stores energy. Yes, your liver can also store extra energy that has not gone to fat in the form of glycogen. It's easily available to your body when it's time to run or when it's time to need it. So, very important. Another thing you need to understand about the liver, that it makes important proteins that your body needs. So your liver is also manufacturing and detoxification the detoxification center in your body, right? Another function of the liver is processing nutrients. So once you eat, the liver now turns the nutrients in your food either into energy or stores it for later use. It's still part of digestion. And remove toxins. So all that time that you go and drink Igbo and Shayo, yes, your liver is trying very hard to actually keep your body safe. But you also need to understand that most times when you take alcohol, it actually damages some cells in your liver. Yes, we say the liver regenerates, but some of you are damaging it faster than it can regenerate. And remember that there's always the straw that breaks the camel back. It's never pancreas that breaks camel back. It's straw, small straw. So you can actually continue. So there are certain things that can actually cause your liver to damage, or actually damage your liver, or give your liver injury. Number one, yes, as you can see, is alcohol. Over time, when you drink heavily, it can cause inflammation in the liver. And if your liver now continues to get damaged, especially by alcohol, it has been shown to actually be a cause of what we call cirrhosis. Let me even explain this cirrhosis to you. So imagine that every time you wound, there's a scar, right? Some of us, when we're small, you can see some scars on your body. Those scars are not actually functional like that. So every time you take alcohol and cause inflammation in your liver can actually get damaged, right? Once it damages, it will heal with a scar over it. As it heals with that scar over it, that scar is not liver, but it's in the liver, but it's not liver, so it's not functional. So you're slowly chipping away, and after a while, your liver might have more scar than liver, and that's what we call liver failure. So alcohol, yes, alcohol. So every time you drink alcohol, you're damaging some liver cells, right? Yeah. Number 2 is actually infection. See, when you encounter viruses like hepatitis simply because you refuse to do hepatitis vaccination, which can actually protect you from vaccine, yes, hepatitis, especially hepatitis B, C, and D, can lead to what we call chronic liver disease that, it keeps affecting, damaging your liver. After a while, your liver will say, I'm tired of regenerating, it's time to go and retire. So it can also happen. Another thing that can damage your liver is autoimmune conditions. So there are sometimes that immune system that you're boosting, you're always boosting it. It can start to mistakenly attack your liver because it's seeing your liver as a foreign body, right? And this attack can lead to inflammation and damage. Sometimes it's genetics, right? It's just genes in the body. Some people just produce too much of certain, See, just know, I'm not trying to confuse you. Sometimes in some people's body, especially if they have Wilson disease, their body might have plenty copper or plenty iron, and over time, this can cause damage in the liver and make it harder for it to work properly. Another thing that can also damage your liver is toxins or medication. So, see, there are certain drugs, not every drug you should take, or even chemicals. Even paracetamol, if you use too much of it, it can actually lead to liver damage. Another thing that can cause liver damage, which a lot of people don't pay attention to, as a matter of fact, I even think we need, is fats build up inside the liver. So the liver, first off, is safe, right? By safe, it does not have, it's not supposed to be, like I said, it stores this thing inside as glycogen, not as adipose tissue. However, there are some times when, probably insulin resistance, obesity, the kind of what you're eating, your diet, lifestyle can now start causing fats to build up in the liver. Remember, it's fat, not liver, and fat cannot do the work of the liver. After a while, that's actually fatty liver disease can actually lead to damage of the liver itself. So, my dear, how do you now know that it's looking like damage is happening to the liver and I need to pay attention? Number 1 is jaundice. What is jaundice? Jaundice is basically yellowing of either your skin or your white of your eyes. This happens when your liver is actually unable to process, take care of bilirubin, which happens when your red blood cells break down. So when your red blood cells break down, one of the waste products is bilirubin. If your liver does not know how to send it out very quickly, this bilirubin can start to, because it cannot go anywhere. So it stays back in your bloodstream. When it stays in your bloodstream, it goes under your skin, goes under the whites of your eyes. So if you ever wake up one day and you say, my eye is yellow, my dear, please, that's a sign of liver damage and you need to get that checked out immediately. Another sign of liver damage is you're just feeling tired, fatigue. You have not done anything, but you're tired. It feels like you've carried the whole world on your back. Sometimes this can be a sign of your liver not functioning as possible, and that's also because some toxins are coming up in your body. Your body cannot, energy substances cannot give you like that. Another very obvious sign is when your abdomen starts to swell. Can you make it swell small? Yes, exactly like that. And if it's associated with pain, especially in the upper right of the abdomen, which is where the liver is located, it can actually be a sign of liver damage. Another thing is, when you now start looking like this, bloom inside, that can cause ascites buildup. And it's probably happening because, the protein that your body, so it starts to attract water and then it stays around. So if you notice that your urine is getting dark, right? Or it starts to look like slimming tea. When you have put slimming tea, yes. Or it starts to look brown, my dear, that can be a sign of liver damage. Now, after the urine, there's something else that comes out at the other side. Yes, it's called poo-poo or igbe or nse, according to my people that always say it. The color is actually very important. If you know that poo-poo has its own color, right? Poo has its own color. Right? And it comes out like dark as they make it. However, if it starts to look like clay, or it starts to look like your poo-poo is bleaching, there's a problem because it's not supposed to look that way. Why does that happen? That happens because there's some damage in your liver and your liver is not producing enough bile. And bile gives the poo-poo that brown color, right? Brown skin, yeah. But if your poo-poo looks like it's bleaching or it's rubbing bleaching cream, my dear, that can be a sign of liver failure. Another thing that can also happen is itchy skin, or people used to call it pruritus. What does this mean? Because the liver is the major detoxification of the body, and if it cannot do its work properly, those toxins start to accumulate inside your bloodstream, and those toxins, some of them can lead to itching, right? And then, you start to scratch everywhere in your body. So if you come to the hospital and tell me, it's like my body is scratching me, my eye is yellow, it's looking like my stomach is swelling, I feel pain here, your doctor starts to suspect liver damage. If your leg starts to swell, right, it's probably because your liver cannot manage these proteins properly. They start to leak into your bloodstream, and then it starts to attract water to itself. That can also be a sign of liver failure. Or small thing, they touch you like this, they hold you like this, it looks as if they've used cane to flog the life out of you. That can easy bruising, they call it easy bruising. That can also be a sign of liver damage. Also pay attention to loss of appetite. I will not explain further. If you look at bread and bread is no longer attractive to you and you have not eaten for days but you're just tired, right? It can be a problem. Another one that doctors look out for is, we call it spider angioma, right? If you start to see veins that look like spider on your chest or anything, in different places, that can be a sign of liver damage. Remember that we said that the liver is still responsible for anything detoxification. So it takes poison and makes it less poisonous. If these things continue to accumulate, they stay in your bloodstream. Remember, there's a part of your body that also needs blood, which is what? Your brain. If those toxins enter your brain, they can cause what is called hepatic encephalopathy. In other words, the toxins start to affect the way you think and they cause some bit of brain issues. So you just notice that with all these signs, somebody is now becoming confused, they can't remember stuff, they are acting like they are seeing things that are not there. That can be a sign of liver failure. So if you start to notice any of these signs, my dear, it's not the time to go and meet your neighbor for help. It's time to go to a healthcare professional or a licensed hospital and get care. Because if it's caught early, keyword early, some things can be done. But if you wait until all the damage has fully occurred, I don't know, you might be looking for a miracle yourself, and the liver has given up on miracles. Now, if you have come to the end of this video, congratulations, you have tried. You really like book, or you like me, choose one, I don't know. But it means that you're interested in taking care of your body. Some people stopped at 2 minutes, some people stopped at 3 minutes. Yes, we will go and drag them back for them to understand this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I know, okay, doctor, now you've told us the signs, how do we now protect the liver? Yeah. You knew I was coming to this point, so subscribe so that I don't miss when I say it. Because if I say I should continue making this video now, you will not watch it to the end. So wait for the next one. Thank you very much.
Next is about another secret killer disease called diabetes. Diabetes is a group of disease that results in too much glucose in the blood. We have type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes occurs when the body makes little or no insulin. While type 2 diabetes, on the other hand, is the most common diabetes. It occurs when the blood glucose is too high. In this video, you got to know who is likely to have type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Let's take a look at this video from Aproko Doctor.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth is sugar alone by itself cannot cause diabetes. And I need you to take a minute to digest it as you are going to digest this video because it's important. Now, the idea that if you eat something sweet, automatically it gives you diabetes is simply a misunderstanding of how disease actually works. That's why we think that if something is bitter, it's going to cancel the sweet things that it took in our body. But first of all, let's break down diabetes. There are two major types of diabetes. Number one is type 1 diabetes, which is what? An autoimmune disease. Autoimmune simply means, let me not use the word simply. Autoimmune basically means when your body is fighting against itself. And you also need to understand that there is a major organ in your body that is responsible for producing insulin. It's called the pancreas, right? Now, the pancreas is somewhere here. It's just very, very small. Its job is every time you eat food and your sugar spikes in your blood, the pancreas will release small insulin so that it can bring down the sugar in your body back. But if your body now says, I don't like the cells that are producing insulin in this pancreas, and then it starts to attack it, it's called what? Type 1 diabetes. Now, some people are born with it. Sometimes it can even start from when you are small. Some people just are autoimmune diseases. It can even happen to children. This has nothing to do with how much sugar the person is taking. Number 2 is what you now know as type 2 diabetes. This one is not as easy as it sounds, right? It just means that a couple of factors have come together. Your genetics, your weight, how active you are, how sedentary you are, the kind of food you are eating, and all these things now come together in your diet and now affect how your body deals with sugar. Because every time you eat food, bam, your sugar will rise in your blood sugar will rise. Now, insulin comes in and then reduces that blood sugar, right? As you can see it here. So every time insulin enters the blood, your blood sugar is going to reduce because it's forcing that sugar into the cells. It's forcing it. It's saying, enter the cells. The cells is where you are needed. If these cells, after a while, they say, we don't want to respond to insulin anymore. Your body is releasing insulin, but your cells are not responding to that insulin. That's type 2 diabetes. These are the 2 major types of diabetes. But you see, sugar alone is not the direct cause of this particular condition. So Kechi is now wondering, what exactly started this sugar myth? Because we've been blaming sugar for diabetes for a very long time. It's linked to blood sugar. Blood sugar is the main thing. Let us explain again. You need to understand that the major fuel that your body uses is glucose. And glucose is a form of sugar. And every food you eat, before your body uses it, it will first convert it to glucose, and then your body will now use it, including fat, including protein. Your body will find a way to convert it to glucose before you can use it for energy. She'll get here. So it's not that sugar is the problem, but we are going somewhere. Now, eating sugar directly does not cause diabetes. What causes diabetes is, like I said, a mixture of all the complex factors that have ever happened. Let me explain what risk factor is like. Now, just imagine that in your family, you people have family history of diabetes. That's one bullet inside the gun. Bim. Let's also imagine that you are overweight. That's another bullet inside the gun. Bing. Hope you know that this gun probably has like 8 bullets inside. It's a revolving gun. Yes, that's the type they used to use it. That's like. Let's now imagine that you now eat excess calories. That's another bullet inside the gun. Bing. We now also imagine that you do it to exercise. That's another bullet inside the gun. Bing. Have any bullets come out of this gun? No. If somebody now do mistake, one child, born boy or junior mechanic run around with the gun, daddy, press the gun, pew, and you already have 4 bullets out of 8. The chances that 1 bullet is going to come out is going to affect you. So when we say that you have a risk factor for something, it does not mean that you automatically have it. It just means that the chances that you are going to have it is higher than somebody who does not have that chance that they are going to have it. So what actually leads to diabetes is the interplay of all these factors. And there are some risk factors that I will share to you right now, that once you start to see those things, you have to pay attention to your food. People who drink a lot of sugary beverages and eat a lot of processed food will tend to gain weight. And being overweight increases the risk of type 2 diabetes. But guess what? Whether it's any food source you're eating, whether it's fat or it's carb or it's protein, so long as you are overweight, you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. So one of the major issues is actually the quality of your diet. Because if Emeka is eating a balanced diet, Emeka exercises regularly, Emeka maintains a healthy weight, the chances of Emeka developing diabetes is very slim, even if he takes chocolate or sweets once in a while. So it's not as if chocolate and sweet is the bad this thing. It's just that Emeka has balanced all these things. If Emeka also does not have a family history of it, he's also in line. So let's put it this way. I'll bring 2 Emekas in front of you, or 2 Nkechis in front of you. You can choose whichever one you are. Emeka number 1 or Nkechi number 1 has a healthy diet. They exercise every day. They take walks. Even if they have a family history of diabetes, but they're always in check with these things. They watch the kind of food they eat. Even if they take ice cream from time to time, their chances of developing diabetes is actually very slim. But let's now go to this other Emeka that is by this side. has a family history, in other words, there's gene for diabetes somewhere, does not exercise, anything that passes, he has put inside his mouth, egbegiri, ewedu, he does not even count the amount of calories he eats. Anything he shall must eat because they've told him that food is life. So he eats everything that passes. And Emeka is now very overweight, as you can see. The chances of Emeka even getting diabetes is higher than this person, even if this Emeka hates ice cream. So you can see two people are taking ice cream. But if this Emeka now likes ice cream on top, there's a problem. And then he takes processed food on top, there's a problem. So let us understand that it's not sugar that is the problem, it's excess calories that is the problem. But one of the easiest ways to get excess calories is from processed food. But now, let's not discuss sugar and processed foods. So let's compare these two things. On this side, we have apple. On this other side, we have soda. Both of them have sugar inside. So don't say one does have sugar, one does not have. However, on this side, you have natural fiber, you have vitamins inside, micronutrients, and other ones. And it does not spike your blood sugar. Because as you are chewing it, you are chewing the fiber inside. As you are chewing the fiber inside, it's going into your digestive system. The director can show you where it's going through the digestive system. But it's going slowly. And by the time your body now has to dig through all the fibers, the amount of sugar that finally enters your bloodstream enters at a slow rate. Not at the one that will just carry your blood sugar and go, it raises it slowly. Soda, on the other hand, look at it. It's here. It's here looking at us. High sugar, no fiber, no nutrients. And once you just take it, wow, your body just collects all the sugar inside. And then, and before you know what's happening, insulin is running from your pancreas. Let's not forget the pancreas that we mentioned in the beginning. After a while, the cells in your body can now start looking at the insulin and be saying, is it every time you're disturbing us? Every time. After a while, your body will release insulin, but the cells in your body will say, we don't want again. They revolt against the insulin. And before you know what's happening, type 2 diabetes. So you see that taking whole foods, including fruits that have a lot of fiber, can actually reduce the rate at which your sugar rises and then reduces the rate at which insulin is released into your blood. So what does that mean? It simply means that when you want to take food, you should focus more on whole foods rather than processed foods, because one increases your risk of diabetes, but one does not. However, there are some things that now directly or indirectly lead to type 2 diabetes. Number one is genetics. Yes, if diabetes runs in your family, the risk of you getting diabetes is higher. If you are inactive, you have also a very strong risk of developing diabetes, because when you exercise, your body now has to regulate blood sugar and insulin, and then, manages the way your body handles sugar. Obesity, because carrying excess weight around, especially in the form of fat, can increase your insulin resistance. So insulin is flogging the cells. Sugar enter the cell. The cell is saying, Odeshi, and the other sugar remains inside your bloodstream. That's why they check your blood sugar is high. Now, if your diet is also poor, because if your diet is high in processed food, unhealthy fats, excess calories, it can lead to weight gain and metabolic issues. That's why sometimes it's good for you to have muscles, because muscle is also very high in metabolism, so that you to just quickly break down those things. So, Mekaniketi, I'm looking at you. The real question now is, should you stop eating sugar? The answer is no. Because when you cut out sugar entirely, your body will still transform the things that you need to sugar for it to use. It's like asking, should we put fuel inside a car that needs fuel? The answer is yes. Your body still needs the fuel, but there are some things that you can do. Choose natural sugars from fruits and whole foods instead of processed sugars. Reduce processed foods and sugary drinks. Stay active, maintain a healthy weight. So next time somebody tells you that sugar causes diabetes, it's simple. Don't argue with them. Just send this video to them and improve the level of the knowledge just as you have improved the level of your knowledge. So the truth is simple. Diabetes is a very complex disease, and sugar alone does not cause diabetes. It's just one small piece of a much bigger puzzle. So please balance your diet, stay active, and stop fearing sugar is not the enemy. The real enemy is misinformation. And by this point, please subscribe, like, comment. When you do these things, other people can find this video and be as educated as you are, so that we can slowly do our part in ensuring that everybody has sense, especially when it comes to health. Because as I'm looking at you, the country that you're watching this video from, especially if it starts from Nigeria, there's no doctor inside. There's no doctor inside. So you watch this video, apply the small things that you can use to actually make your health better, so that